Hello, Culture Matters podcast. Before I introduce you to our guest, here's a quote just for this episode. It becomes more doable if you accept the path.
Mm,
John Duffin.
mm.
Our guest today has been a great steward of consistency, one of our core values at Culture Matters. Over the many years they visited our show, if you haven't listened to two awesome podcasts on the Culture Matters podcast, episode 570 titled Quit Tomorrow
Oh,
and 955
mm,
Authentic Living.
mm.
Our guest today is not only a coach, executive coach, yes, someone that helps people position themselves in their strongest self possible, whether that's on stage or in the boardroom,
Mm.
wherever that may be. Um, but a friend of the Culture Matters podcast, and the one and only John Duffin's come back to talk about and reflect on this idea of collaboration, recent culture collaborative that was had physically in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
Yup.
John Duffin, thanks for coming back to the Culture Matters podcast.
Jay Duran, I'm honored and trust me, this never gets old. We're at number 18, correct? If I had it right, I think this is 18, which is crazy to me, right? Crazy. And you bringing back the authentic living and quit tomorrow. Um, that they were such fun conversations, and I know I sound like I'm patting myself on the back. I'm not. That is a collaboration too, and I love the fact that we're going
Hmm.
in this direction because
Wow.
it's a reminder for me that collaboration comes in different forms and different sizes. And I would love to acknowledge what you just did in Philadelphia, which is, I think, an incredible feat in regards to the benefits of collaboration.
Collaboration comes in different forms and
Sizes, forms, and
sizes.
sizes.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Well, one on one, when done right, is a collaboration. When you allow it to break through, if you're coming in to either a podcast or a coaching session or a sales meeting, board meeting, and you have this fixed agenda, I'm going to cover this, or whatever this is. Well, that's not a collaboration. That's an intention. Where a collaboration comes in when you're effectively listening, when
Hmm.
you're, I mean, using loose terms, vibing off the other person. And at the end of the conversation or during, there's a point where the intention is not there, and you've created this now new intention, and that's what you could do one-on-one. That's what you and I get to do. You've been kind enough to show up on my show multiple times. It means the world to me, and I can almost guarantee that by the time I'm done, whether interviewing you or you interviewing me, that we have a very clear path that may not be the original intention. And to me, that's collaboration. You do that one-on-one or in groups.
What, how about what's the complementarity, or would you use a different word,
Hmm.
or the difference between uh, preparation
Mhm.
and collaboration?
Right. So let's use your Culture Matters collaborative, the most recent one in Philadelphia as an example. And there's just a couple of steps in this regard that I do. And even after what I'm going to say all this time, over 25 years, and I'm thinking of the networking events that I've shown up for. And there's a process. And part of the process is, at least for me, self talk. So I never feel instantly comfortable showing up at these. And I mean that includes, no offense, your last one. Like there's an element of nerves that I still deal with after all of this time, and God, thousands, but every single time the same thing happens. So the process for me is the self-talk of knowing, okay, you're going to meet somebody. Like my fears in the background are I'm going to go in, I'm not going to know anybody, nobody's going to want to talk to me. Somebody's going to figure out I'm a fraud and what's he doing here? And I have to beat that back. So it's like, okay, that
Right.
ain't true. Um, and then you go in, and then it's like, I am me, I still do it. I did it at yours. I have to find somebody familiar. It's important to me, and one of the advantages of being in a lot of them is that it's for me almost like virtually a guarantee that I'm going to run into somebody I know. So they're the first person I go to. It's like just immediately, and it just gets me a little bit better anchored. And then you in that case, um, that I needed to see you. I needed to feel the positive energy. And then the collaborative part, there's a little bit of letting go in the sense that it's like, okay, feel comfortable enough to stand in the space and speak, feel confident enough that I'm bringing something to the table, even if it's nothing more than listening skills or, energy or warmth. You've taken to the most basic point, and then it's a sense of allowing the other person that you're speaking to or persons, give them space to speak, and then you realize the energy then starts to increase. And I really think, like, for anybody, if you've never been to an event before and you're doing your first one, or if you're lucky enough to get an invitation and you're going to try to talk yourself out of it, don't, because that night, very much collaborative, allow myself the grace to talk to different people, not just hang out with my pals, you know? Um, and I could do that if I didn't have the confidence, the clarity, the that sense of no, I'm not a fraud. No, I deserve to be here. No, I don't look awful. No, I don't. You know what I mean? All
Mhm.
that crazy stuff, and then you just find some new people, and that absolutely happened at your event. Like great, a couple of several great new contacts that were there, business wise and life wise. Great.
What do you mean the energy starts to increase?
Yeah. It's so I'm not a scientist, although I follow it, I believe in it. But you can feel when there is a connection. That's like you know. If you're
Mm.
not so self-absorbed that you're so busy going back to your own intentions or your own, well, I need to ask him this,
Oh,
I need to ask for the sale, I got to ask for a meeting, and all that delusional stuff. Um, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying it's got to be organic and allow a conversation to flow. So what happens? A case in point, one of your teammates, Kyle, who I didn't know from Adam, comes over.
hey
Right? Shout
Kyle.
out to Kyle. He's great. True Renaissance guy, as I found. Musician and business person and tech person and dad and all just great. So I don't know any of this stuff going in. Didn't even remember his name at first. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, what's his name again? Here's what happens when you meet someone, Kyle specifically, not someone like Kyle, Kyle specifically, that where it is, there's a sense, so the energy increases. It absolutely happened in that conversation. So I now know more about the business mechanisms of culture matters. No deep, dark secrets, Jay. I don't mean that. But what I mean is,
Great job, Kyle.
uh, God, he threw you under a bus, Jay. It was a lot.
Wow. It's
No,
great
it
to be.
was.
Well, what did Kierkegaard say? When the tyrant dies, his reign ends. When the martyr dies, his reign begins. We'll see you next time on the Culture Matters podcast.
Nothing
Yeah,
like
you teed that
nothing
up
like jumping
perfectly.
back to Kierkegaard in the middle of, like I said, a Capital Grill happy hour. But it was like, but you realize you're standing there speaking, And the energy increases. You feel, I do, I'll speak for me, more comfortable and confident. People demonstrate their authenticity. This is what's really important. You talked about the earlier episode that we did together, authentic living, the benefits of that. You know, when somebody's being authentic, you can feel it. And if you can't, you can hear it and see it when you're in an in person setting that you don't get when you're just batting emails back and forth, or, and on a Teams communication or Slack or whatever. That you don't get that. So I I dial in more when I feel the energy. The other person is like you're listening better, you're asking better questions, and that organic part just happens. And one other thing happens too that's really important. The next conversation that I have when the energy changes, there were a lot of people there that night. Literally, you're bouncing off of people, big space, and it was crowded. And if I took two steps back, I'm literally walking into somebody. So what happens? You turn around, and your next conversation becomes 10 times easier. There's a purpose for showing up. And the purpose is not just to get free apps, you know what I mean? And an open bar, although that's lovely, But the purpose really is you're trying to get better established. And if you don't know how, there are instant ways. They say instant gratification. There are instant ways to accelerate your pace when you show up for a collaborative. When you allow yourself to be authentic, you give someone else the grace to also be authentic. Sorry about that. Which is where the hyper authenticity part comes from, the book that I'm still plowing through. Hyper authenticity comes with the sense that another person or group becomes authentic around you because you are. And that's where the magic occurs. Now, the tell me about your business parts of the conversation don't sound so fake and forced. The questions that you're asking become better because you're probably listening a little bit better. And you stay with that person another moment rather than judging, no, they're their support person. No, I need this person. That you'll stay with that person another moment, and it gets yourself grounded, number one. I got to meet a ton of people that night, right? And it was beautiful because I'm pretty certain I said it to Josh and Beth, and I said it about their events too, which they're incredible hosts and organizers like you. And when you walk in, and it kind of feels like a reunion.
Mm.
So there's a comfort that's involved. The catch though is you can't risk being lazy. Like in a reunion, I'm only going to talk to the people that, are nice or hot or whatever, right? And you don't step out of your comfort zone. If you go in there thinking, right, somebody's going to make me more comfortable so I can turn around and ask, hey, my name's John. Uh, and then everything just becomes magically easier to get information with follow-ups, with business relationships. With that sense of, again, with that renewed sense of purpose.
I've never thought of it in this way, but
Also,
I had a vision of a culture,
huh,
equation. Okay. So preservation,
right?
self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
What if that has a relationship with how safe each person feels in the room, in the unknown,
Mm,
in the room?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so preservation means that we will hold on to energy. So you said
Mm-hmm.
something earlier that thought was
Right.
profound. The energy starts to increase
Mm-hmm.
it starts to increase in the room. Well, where's the energy coming from? The energy is coming through each person, but where, like, it, that's a whole deeper philosophy. Where the hell
Right,
is that
right.
energy coming? So here's the, it's, I think, simple.
Hmm.
Okay, so preservation means that we will hold on to energy and it won't spread throughout the room.
Hmm.
So 'cause each person's preserving.
Guarded. Your essence, like I see the way your even your body language right now. That's like a guarded. I need to hold on to this. And what I'm suggesting is the reason I'm grateful for to you for having the collaborative. And I know that sounds like such a suck up thing to say. I know that, but I'll risk it. But and you're amazing. But
But John, that's why you've been invited 18
oh,
times.
oh, oh, never mind. Oh my God, you're so amazing.
Play the
No,
script, John. Oh my,
and I got it in
is
before
that
our allotted time. No, here's
I
what
ran out of my AI script, so now I'm ad-libbing.
I'm
I'm ad-libbing now. I'm out
That's
of
another conversation of you swatting back the use of ChatGPT at the Ritz-Carlton, but whatever. I'll come back.
don't interrupt me
That's
and then
that's in essence a sidebar convo, which I'll leave
yeah,
out.
don't interrupt
However,
me and then tell them my agenda.
let me leave in this part. The old one, like it's the best way, like scientific, but in practical. One plus one equals three when energy is shared. That's what this is. Because how do you know? Like at your event, let's just use yours. Did you notice how loud the room got? One. Did you notice how loud the room stayed? Three. Did you notice how many people stayed beyond the allotted time? What's the allotted time? You had a very specific 6 p.m. if I remember correctly. No, 4 to 6:30.
Yep.
That was the allotted time on the invitation. That room was filled after 6:30 p.m. Why? Because that's energy. That's connection. That guarding energy that you described, that's what has people hightailing it out of a thing. Hey, I'm staying 45 minutes. That's it. I need to meet like that.
Out of loyalty.
Well, out of loyalty and out of selfishness. I need to preserve my energy because I don't want to take a risk. I don't want to step out of my comfort zone. Right? I want to listen, I need to protect my own backside, so to speak. It's like I gotta make sure nothing happens to me. So I'm gonna be here 45 minutes and then I'm out of here. The energy in turn keeps you there. The renewed sense of purpose that's coming, that it's more than
So
just,
I'm writing this
crazy
that
out.
you said, did you notice how loud? Why
Mhm.
is that relevant?
I have learned and experienced a lot that sense of like people feel more comfortable. You could take in a literal sense. It's loud because it's like people trying to talk over people. Or how I've seen it and felt it is you feel comfortable enough that you're expressing yourself and you're not in muted tones. You're not speaking in secrets. You are open, honest, and authentic. And naturally, the noise volume raises. And I only know this, and that's the word, know this, because of years and years, members of my immediate family, and we have a bunch of mutual friends. And there is such a strong degree of comfort anywhere we go that we're often called, and I'm laughing, not always a compliment. We're the loudest table at a restaurant or at an event. And again, when we've been told that, and that's we've been told that a lot, it's not often from other people a compliment. But we're not paying attention to the sort of things like, oh, I gotta meet three contacts tonight, and I gotta ask them who their decision makers are, and and all that sort of nonsense. It's becoming more organic. People feel more comfortable, and the
All the
volume
selves
raises.
mesh into one self.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And you're not thinking, you're feeling, and the old cliche, people only do things when they feel things. Are you going to follow up with someone afterwards? Well, you will if you felt something.
Here's an interesting thought. So it was a 2.5 hour
Right.
gathering,
A
and
little longer, actually.
well, that's the
Scheduled
people left
two and a
30
half
minutes.
hours.
It was cleared out. After 30 minutes, I walked out alone
Hmm.
or with, the last couple people
Yeah.
or what, no, alone. Cause yeah. I wanted to see. So that's 20 minutes of the 2.5 hours. So I'm sorry, 30 minutes. So 20% longer than the order. It
Correct.
was that may even been shorter because of the institution that we were in. There's a weight of like, all right, you can leave
You're
now.
renting rooms. I mean, they're going to come in and start vacuuming the floor like it's
Yes,
last call or whatever. And
yes.
so, and it's like, oh, time to go. But what you didn't get was
Interesting.
people sneaking out. And listen, people are busy, no
Oh, so
question.
that's important too.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just literally read the room, look at it, look who remained. Um, and again, people are busy like you, right? You're not the only like it's when you hold an event, there has to be an understanding that people are also busy. So they got to break time to make sure they're with you. And then often, and I heard a lot of people say that, business colleagues and new people that I met, they were heading somewhere else. They
Really?
weren't just snuggling up on the sofa, going back to their negative thoughts. Not that I'd know anything about that, but
Oh, that's a good point.
yeah,
Because people that were there,
mhm.
these are hand-selected people.
Yeah, and that's
These
that's
are
wildly flattering to me.
these are these are successful people. These are
Mm-hmm.
these are people with an aim.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that have somewhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that already had something they were accountable to,
Yeah,
someone,
yeah.
some event,
Something, someone. Right, sure.
but a comet interjected their course. Hey, how you doing? What's new? What's going on? Listen,
Boom. Time all of a sudden.
we're going to
See,
be here. We're going to be doing this.
right.
Come, and this is important for the audience to know.
Yeah.
Culture matters. The collaboration, the C in culture stands for give first, intend to help, and get started today.
Hmm. Mm.
I invited everyone on the phone one by one.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone was invited one by
Mhm.
one. And there are people that were not invited because I couldn't get them on the phone.
Ah. Why did on the
Not
phone
because
matter
of
to you?
like, that's
Why
not
did
a,
that matter to you as someone who is creating and implementing, sorry, the collective, the collaborative?
if
Why did
we're
it
going to
matter
be
to get
in
on the
a,
phone?
if we are going to be in a play,
Hmm. Right.
everyone needs to know what the plot is.
Hmm. But here's an interesting thought. Everybody needs to know what the plot is. So what changes from a sense of organic energy to what you're describing? Everybody needs to know what the plot is, which
Yeah,
sounds
it's
a little boxed
unspoken.
in.
It's the plot comes
What was
from
the plot? What was the intended plot? And
the
did you get
plot. The plot is ineffable.
it? Hmm.
The plot is love.
Okay, got it.
If I as the host
Hmm.
invest my energy in each person,
Hmm.
that is there's a story that everyone is within
Hmm.
that I think can lift the governor off of that preservation instinct,
Hmm.
and something beautiful can happen. So it's important to me, especially, um, yeah, it's important to me,
Hmm.
especially
To do what?
when especially when I'm at liberty, if there's if time is more, the less valuable time is from a responsibility standpoint, um, the more intention or the more sacrifice to make, to reach out, to make those calls and to
Hmm.
see how people were doing and to tell them what's going on and why I think it's important and will you, that investment is, it's the intention that
Mhm.
you're talking about.
So I'm glad you finished your thought. That's great because when I first heard it, this is the collaborative part, right? That allowing people the ability to fully answer a question, which only happens in a collaborative intention rather than I got to get my bullet points in. I got to get my top three prospects and I got to tell them that I'm a public speaker. Here's what happens. So when you began that thought, which is plot and director, do you know what I'm thinking originally? Well, that sounds a little manipulative. What are you trying to get here? I brought all these people in. Well, that's not it at all. And that's how collaboration works is allow somebody to fully articulate something. Now I know where you're going.
Yeah, well, that
That's
that's
beautiful what you're intending. It's beautiful. And it's productive because this is a business collaborative too. Loyalty, friendship, loyalty, love, all that stuff. And I remember felt like $1 million. I'm walking down Walnut Street. I'm wildly grateful that I was able to walk home. And I remember my energy level shifts, and so it's not late. It's like somewhere between 6:30 and 7 p.m. So it's still daylight, so it's not like okay, time for bed, but it was more but your energy rises and if you do it right, you'll do something productive with the increased energy. Write a thank you. Go back. I use an electronic because I'm so tech, and I'm saying that so sarcastically. That I an electronic like CRM, and had additional new contacts and followed up, including with you immediately in terms of gratitude. And then the point, so the business point is there. Who did you meet? Why did it matter? What relationships did you reinforce
this might be
significant?
helpful for people.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, maybe a part two, but if s- if somebody, I think when you're, I think especially when you're working with people that have um, the more integrity, the more
Hmm.
success, the
Hmm.
more the more valuable a person is, they need to know why they're where they are
Hmm.
because people depend on them
Yeah.
and they have somewhere they're going.
Hmm.
So if someone sends them like a flyer that says, "Hey, be here," or "Come to this," or a mass text,
Right. You could send 100 mass
we're
texts.
getting wallflowers here. Now,
Yeah.
what does that say about those? Now, of course, depending on the proximity of the relationship,
Hmm.
the depth of the relationship, a close friend talks all the time. Hey, I'm going to be at the bar. Come by.
Hmm.
But I think the like anything, the more energy that one, especially if it's the leader, invest
Hmm.
the energy, the
Yeah.
sacrifice,
Yeah.
and makes it. This goes back to what you said, which is uh preservation, right? So preservation means that we will hold on to energy.
Hmm.
It won't spread in the room.
Hmm.
So I think about it like this. If each person has 100 units of energy,
Right.
but they're holding on to 80
Hmm. Hmm.
and they're only giving 20,
Hmm.
and there's 50 people in the room,
Right.
that means that only 1,000 is
Additional
spreading.
units of energy. Exactly. So,
But
mhm.
let me finish.
Yeah.
80 units of each person is being held on to.
Right.
So 4,000 units are being held on to.
Hmm. Yeah.
1,000 are in the room.
Hmm.
So more energy is being held on to, preserved. It's
Hmm.
not in the room.
Right.
It's weighing on the person's
Hmm.
shoulders.
Hmm.
Of course it's quiet.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course there's not collaboration.
Hmm.
But if 80 of each person is spread
Hmm.
and only 20 is withheld, then there's over then there's
How many people
thousands
did
and
you say? Thousands, right? 4 million,
thousands
right?
spread
Hmm.
and only so more is spread than is held on to.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think you're definitely in the right direction. I'll add two things, which is number one, what we're leaving out in the numerical equation is what I strongly believe in is the compound effect. So whether it's 10x that you're following or Darren Hardy's compound effect, that it is not as linear as you say, that you're right, you're on the right track. However, the reason it matters so much is because stuff compounds. And as a result, that 80 and versus 20 versus 1,000, it's 10x it at least. That's where the increased volume comes from. That's where the better memory comes from. Oh, that person told me this. And the energy that expends, that compounded energy, comes from the what am I going to do with that? See, and that's such a big deal. Like for me, I'm in the walking home part. This is what I was bringing. So in the walking home part, so this is where my mind's going. Not like, okay, I did my assignment. Now I'm going to go home and it's okay. What am I doing with this? Who am I talking to? What do I need to do with this? How do I go with this? Where, and so you'll create better ideas in the leaving part, you know, because events are great, collaboratives are great. But the one thing I did want to convey, which is there's an old adage I learned from one of my favorite sales trainers, and I steal from them liberally as I'm training and coaching, but I always give them credit, which is the Center for Sales Strategy. And they ended their killer sales training sessions with information without execution is simply entertainment. So, that execution part, what are you doing with it after you go home? Not just as the organizer, but what are the individuals doing? And to me, that's that it's if someone is kind enough, cool enough, generous enough, and inclusive enough to invite you somewhere and you show up, why would you not come out of this with different relationships, a different way of thinking, the ability to work a little harder for a little bit longer, and mostly the sense of clear direction? And that's what comes from a successful collaborative. And I believe you nailed it.
John,
Yo. Bringing my Northeast Philly back to. Yes.
if you wanted the audience to know one thing
Mm,
that you've learned from collaboration throughout your tenure in your
yeah.
profession, your professional career,
Hmm.
what's the one thing that you would want to leave our audience
Yeah.
to?
uh, Beat back the negative self talk. Beat back the negative self talk. Go talk to someone. Show up and go talk to someone.
If you're listening to this podcast and you're not collaborating, get the please come listen to the Culture Matters podcast. Be Go listen to episode 955,
Boom.
570. Um, I have a list here actually.
It's a whole plethora. Love just throwing that word
Episode
around.
119, staying in the game. Congratulations, John Duffin.
Listen,
Eight
that's
837.
give
Four
yourself the credit for if I'm staying as I am staying in the game, it is you that keeps reminding me that I get to express myself. So thank you.
Episode 201. It's never too late. It gets
These are
better.
all real. That's the amazing part to me. They're all real.
Episode 172. Authenticity,
Hmm.
episode 334, all about the love.
Mm.
461, run into the burning building.
Be careful with that
541,
one.
yeah, who the, oh, never mind. We know who titled that. Good job. Embracing the opportunity of hard work, episode 541. Episode 752, quit the day after tomorrow. 510, it's the people.
Hmm.
837, creative problem solving. If you're listening to this podcast, you haven't listened to episode 529, give back as often as you can. What's wrong with you? You can't be that busy. What about episode 490? Remember to hit record.
So, oh my God, right? I forgot that. Yeah,
Or episode 779. That was New Year's Eve,
yeah,
Lollapalooza.
man. Oh my God, right?
If you're listening to this episode, you can collaborate with John
Hmm.
Duffin. You can actually collaborate with his mind by going to listen to all of those episodes. If you want to hire him after that, which if you don't, there's something clearly wrong. John, how can people reach out to you quickly with
Yeah,
efficiency and bring you into their world, their team?
easy. Uh, Either go directly, don't pass go, go directly to duffinmedia.com. Easy, one word, Duffin, Duffin, duffinmedia.com. Go there. You'll learn a little bit more about me and what I get to do and how I can help. And there is a box that you can click right there, which is communicate with me. Fastest, easiest. Go to duffinmedia.com and we'll make time together.
Please share this with someone that needs to collaborate. We will see you next time. Culture Matters Podcast.